Hey guys, it's Graham. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be telling you how I got my T.I.E. from the Immigration Authority here in Spain. In this video, I'm going to be telling you how I got my temporary residence here in Spain, the more technical side of things, so you can have a bit of an idea of what to expect if you are looking to be an au pair in Spain. Before I jump into the first point, I should say I am an American citizen, so the process could be slightly different depending on what country you come from, but if you are coming from a country outside of the European Union and you're staying in Spain for more than 90 days, you are most likely going to need to get a visa. So the first thing you need to know is, what is a T.I.E.? Well, T.I.E. in Spanish stands for Tarjeta de Identidad de Extranjero. So it's essentially just an ID card for foreigners in Spain. Everyone in Spain has one of these ID cards, and for me or for any other foreigner, we have to get the special one just for foreigners. To do anything that requires any sort of official presence, you're going to need this T.I.E. And more importantly, something called the N.I.E., the Número de Identidad de Extranjero. It's just a number. So to explain to you how I got here, Spain issues either a 3-month or a 6-month visa for Americans. Again, I don't know what country you're coming from, so it could be different, but coming from the US, if you're looking to spend a year in Spain, they're going to issue you a 3-month visa on the condition that when you arrive in Spain, you have to apply to get your T.I.E. If you're looking to stay 6 months or less, they're going to issue you a 6-month visa, and you do not need to get the T.I.E. You will not need it, which is super great because it's a pain in the butt to do. In order to get the T.I.E., you have to make what's called a Cita previa, a prior appointment at Extranjería, to go and apply for this card in person. Here's how you do it. So one of the big things that they're gonna tell you when you go and pick up your visa is, in your first 30 days in Spain, you need to make this appointment with Extranjería. I cannot stress to you how important it is that you make this appointment at the earliest possible opportunity. Currently, with the virus plus Spain's ridiculously slow bureaucratic processes, you could be waiting potentially months in order to get an appointment at Extranjería. And once your visa expires, if you don't have your card by the time your visa expires, you can't leave Spain. It's really complicated, so just trust me. As soon as you can, make this appointment at Extranjería. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you look at the search bar on my screen, you can see exactly where you need to go. Sede.administraciones publicas.gov.es / all this stuff. Okay, you can pause the video here and go and put this in your computer. Once you get to this page, this is going to be where you make the internet cita previa. Now, of course, as you can see, this page is in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, you can download a Google Translate link, like I have right here, that would translate it into English, or have one of your Spanish-speaking friends help you out. Of course, I'm sure your host parents would gladly do this with you, and I don't suggest you do this by yourself, especially if you're new to Spain, because you could screw it up like I did the first time. So just to switch back to Spanish, you are going to go here, provincias disponibles. This is the provinces. So for our purposes, we are just going to put in Madrid, the biggest city. Then you're going to go to aceptar, which means accept. Once you're on this page, you're going to want to go down just a bit to a place that says Trámites Cuerpo Nacional de Policía in this drop down menu, and you are going to select your type of appointment. Here you are going to select Toma de Huellas. This is super important. It's at the very bottom. Toma de Huellas, expedición de tarjeta y renovación de tarjeta de larga duración. This is really important you select this specific one, because if you select a different one, this appointment's not going to work for you. So we're going to click on this one, and after you click on this, right here at the bottom of the page, it's going to tell you a few things that you need to bring. The things that are really important are the modelo oficial de solicitud. I'll tell you more about this in a minute, so don't get too worried about it. And the tasa, okay? Again, don't worry too much about it. I'll tell you about it in a second. Then we click aceptar. So once again, on this next page is telling you a few things that you need to bring, and I'm gonna cover all this very specifically in a second, so don't fret. But I would take a screenshot of this part right here that says documentación, documentation. Again, I'm gonna come back to this in a second, so don't worry about it. Then we press entrar, enter. In this part, you are going to put in your information. I suggest you make the appointment using your N.I.E. You will see this number inside of your visa. It should be in the top right corner, and it's gonna start with a letter, have a few numbers in the middle, and end with a letter. Then you'll go down and put in your first and last name, your country of origin, your nationality, and then the expiration of your visa. So I'm gonna put my information in so I can get to the next page, but obviously I'm not gonna show you my personal information. So in this page, you have your options as to what you can do. The one you want to pick is solicitar cita. Then you pick which office you're going to go to, and you can do this depending on which one you're closest to. So for us, we're just gonna pick the first one. On the following page, it's gonna ask you for your telephone number and your email address. And if you don't have a Spanish phone number, use one of your host parents, because this is going to be where they send you a confirmation code on the phone number. So you wanna make sure that you can receive it. Again, I'm not showing you this part because it does show some rather personal information. So I'm just gonna tell you about it. Once you've put that in, you're gonna go down to the bottom of the page to where it says siguiente, which means next, and press on that. On the next page, it's going to show you your optional dates that you can go and apply. So I suggest you get the earliest appointment possible because it does get a bit busy later in the day. So I would go for the earliest one just to play it safe. If the following page says that there's no available appointments, don't worry, I'm gonna tell you how to get around that in a second. But once you've selected your appointment, it's gonna take you to a confirmation page. This is extremely important. You need to take a screenshot of this page, and I suggest you print it out immediately. Don't lose this page, it's really, really important. When you've printed that confirmation page, keep it somewhere safe. You're going to have to physically carry that with you to extranjería. So it's really, really important. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you how you can make some last minute appointments. If your extranjería appointment is way in the future, or if you didn't have any options at all, you can get around this by making a last minute appointment. Here's how you do it. Every morning at 8:30 in the morning, promptly 8:30, extranjería automatically uploads their canceled appointments from the day prior. So what you can do is you can go on at 8:30, and instead of using the information you already put in, you can select the passport option. So just put in your passport number with the passport information, and that's gonna essentially give you a roundabout to pick a different date. If you get on at 8:30 immediately when they put in this information, you might be able to find yourself a last minute appointment. That's what I did. I know a lot of people who do that, but you do have to really be a hawk about it. Spend some time every day, 8:30 sharp. The only thing about these last minute appointments is they can really be fast. So for example, I booked an appointment that was the very next day, and it was the only appointment available. So you do have to be ready to go pretty quickly just in case it does happen fast. Okay, so now in this part of the video, I'm gonna tell you about the documents you need. So if you recall back on that page a second ago, I was showing you a few requirements, and now I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need. First off, there's two websites that I find extremely useful. They helped me out so much. So I am gonna direct you to those two websites if you need some more help. I will link both of these down below so you can go and see them and click on them, and I suggest you bookmark them and frequently return to them. The one that I found most helpful was a blog from a girl that's teaching in Spain. Her blog is called Teach in Spain. Like I said, I'll put the link down below, and she lists step by step all the things you need to do to make this appointment and the things you need to bring. So here's the documents you need to bring. First, a passport. Obviously, you're gonna need to bring your passport from your home country, and you're gonna need a photocopy of the passport page, the visa page, and the proof of entry, so where they stamped your passport when you came into Spain. The next thing you are going to need is a passport-sized photo. This sounds a bit daunting to get, but it's actually super easy. I have a little booklet right here of mine. Essentially, these are just really small passport-sized photos. You can see they're really tiny. In order to get these photos, it's super simple. You can go on Google Maps or ask your host parents if there's any photo shops around, and then call them and ask if they do photo carnet. Photo carnet. In English, it looks like photo carnet. They're gonna know exactly what you're talking about, and normally they'll give you like 5 to 10 of these little pictures for maybe 5 to 10 euros. It's really inexpensive, and it takes literally 5 minutes to do. Super simple. After that, most conventional wisdom says that you are going to need proof of enrollment in a language school. Here's the thing, I didn't have this, and yet they approved my application. So I don't know why they approved it, but I didn't want to sign up for another semester of language school, and I just took my au pair contract, and they used that. But I did not have that proof. If you're looking to take Spanish classes for your entire au pair stay, then I would go ahead and play it safe and just ask your language school to print that out for you. But otherwise, you could always just take your au pair contract, and worst case scenario, they tell you to come back later. The next thing you need is the EX-17 application. On this girl's blog, she provides a link to where you can go and access that application, but beware, the application is in Spanish. So if your Spanish is not so good, have one of your host parents work through it with you. Essentially, you're just gonna put in your personal information, and then the second square here, you don't have to worry about unless you're a minor and somebody else is being your representative. Number 3 is essentially just where they can find you. So you're gonna put your name, your phone number, your email address, and your address in Spain. And then number 4, you're going to click on Tarjeta Inicial, first card. And then down at 4.2, you are going to click on Estancia por Estudios, Investigación, Formación, so forth. It should be the first one. If you're not sure what to put here, just leave it blank. And when you get to Extranjería, if you don't have it filled out correctly, I'm sure the officer will tell you which one to pick. I left this entire next page blank, the Anexo 1 and Anexo 2. I left both of those blank and they didn't say a word to me. And the last page is just some more technical information. The last really important thing you need is the TASA 790 Code 12 tax form. So this is going to be how you pay the fee, which is a small tax, to apply for this card. If you go on the girl's link and you click on it, it will carry you to this page for Spain's police service, where you'll just fill out your information once again. You'll put in your number, your name, your address, and then the most important part, you're going to go down here to Tarjetas de Identidad de Extranjero, T.I.E, and select the first option, T.I.E que documenta la primera concesión de la autorización de residencia temporal. Okay, click on that. You're going to put in your locality, so for me it would be Seville. If you don't know yours, you can ask your host parents, and the current date. Right here, it's going to say how much you owe, and then you'll go fill this little bar out at the bottom and press download the filled out form. When you download this form, you're going to print it out and take it to a bank. Now beware, most banks will only do this between like 9 and 11 in the morning, but I chose Bankia. It's a big bank here in Spain, and they were really helpful. You'll have to use an ATM, but just ask one of the tellers, they'll help you out. When you do pay this tariff in cash, by the way, you're going to make sure you want to select en efectivo, in cash. When you do pay this tariff, it's gonna give you a receipt. Keep the receipt. Print it out, keep it. You're gonna carry that receipt to Extranjería. In the last part of the video, I'm gonna tell you what to expect when you actually go to Extranjería. First of all, I think you need to show up maybe 10 minutes before your appointment actually starts. I think it's just always better safe than sorry, and you never know with Spain. Sometimes you can be late when you mean to be early. The first thing I noticed was there's gonna be a lot of people there waiting outside. So there's gonna be a guard at the door and you want to get that man's attention. You might even have to be a bit pushy. When you get the guard's attention, you're gonna show him that confirmation page that I told you to print out earlier, and he's gonna mark your name on a list. The big thing here is be prepared to wait a little while. You might have to wait half an hour or an hour before they even let you in, or they might let you in immediately. Again, it's Spain, it's unpredictable. Another big thing that I noticed was, at least here in Seville, the people inside of Extranjería did not speak English. So if your Spanish is not so good, I would mentally prepare yourself and maybe even write down a Spanish cheat sheet of phrases to say, such as certain document names in Spanish or how to answer basic questions in Spanish that they might ask you. I mean, just use your common sense here. Another big thing to know is Extranjería is a very picky, very difficult government office. So when you go, you need to be exceptionally polite, be very humble, be very kind. Don't be rude. You know, don't talk off to these people. Don't be impatient with them, because they are really in charge of your whole stay here in Spain. They can make your life really simple or really easy. So just be humble and be nice. After you show them your documents, if you don't need anything else, they're gonna take your fingerprints. It's super simple. It's just a digital fingerprint scan. And then you're gonna have to make another appointment in about a month to come back and pick up your actual card. To make that appointment, you're gonna go right back to the page I showed you at first, and this time you're gonna select recogida de tarjeta. That essentially just means like to pick up a card. Recogida is pick up. They are also going to give you this handy dandy sheet of paper, which you're gonna have to take to carry the card. Essentially, it just says all your information and that they have approved your application. Okay guys, so I know this has been a really long, really technical and boring video, but I really do hope it helps you out, because this was a super stressful process for me. Once again, I'm gonna link these two websites websites down below, and I do think the Teach in Spain website is the most applicable for au pairs. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box down below. I know there's so many questions here, so please drop them down there, and feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. Muchas gracias por ver y hasta luego. Ciao.